What's out there? I mean, the problem is so big, the finances are small, and as you pointed out, it's women and children. They are often the lowest priority, sad to say, on the list.
One of the things that we have is being in Rotary, is we have Rotary groups all over the world. And we try to partner with that Rotary group and see what they need, what their needs are, and try and help them, whether it's buy them clothes, buy them food, help with their education. But what it is you're partnering with a Rotary Club in this area with another Rotary Club in Africa or other areas of the world.
So partnering is one way to increase resources. Others?
Right. Preparing students, we often look at college and university students and wonder how they can help, and even preparing them to be better leaders in this global society to help and provide services. So we at the university have been sending students to Africa since 2000. They not only take resources, they provide services, and they also learn from their travel. And they also bring back other techniques and resources and ideas from other countries, because it's not only the United States that has ideas, but we've learned from South Africa and other places how to also bring back ideas to the United States.
Well, I'm going to go, this dovetails right into what ideas have your individual initiatives done to supplement, to bridge the gap. Susanna?
Yeah, the 4 of our projects are associations of children affected by HIV/AIDS. Most of the children are orphans. And the leaders are young people, most of whom were orphaned themselves. They're young, unemployed, but very, very talented young people. And they work very closely with all the children in their care. Altogether, it's about 2,500 children that these young leaders are caring for. So we help provide the funds that we raise. The leaders send the children to school, provide health care. But the most important thing to my mind is they gather the children together weekly for fun, for relief from stigma, for being together, so that these children who feel so alone, and that's what they tell us, they're alone. Here on Saturday afternoon, they belong somewhere. This is their program. And their leaders, as one girl told me, are like my parents.
That's what everybody forgets in this. While you're still trying to survive, you're still a kid and you want to have fun.
Absolutely.
I think about a local mother once said to me, she's on food stamps, the situation, the family had sort of come apart. She said, what people fail to realize is my children want to eat Frosted Flakes once in a while, just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
And while it may not be the most nutritious thing, it may be the most fun thing that they will do that day, because money is so limited. And it may sound silly to an adult.
Right.
Diane, what kind of assistance is available to the children that you work with in Uganda? I mean, and their aspirations?
Well, good question. There are programs there, and a lot of the children that I dealt with as young teenagers, they were able to go into a program that for 3 years would feed them, house them, and give them a place to hang out and a TV, a little bit of fun. But the goal was really to get them well trained in some kind of a saleable skill so that they could be employable, and the funds were not there for that. So they had their aspirations, they wanted to be engineers, they wanted to be auto mechanics, they'd want a whole host of opportunity, but without the education, as Susanna said before, you just can't go anywhere.
I have to wonder, as an American trying to help in a foreign country, some of the challenges that you face and how you overcome those challenges.
It's a real challenge, and for me, my organization, you see the entirety of it sitting right here. It's very, very new.
Those are very broad shoulders.
They are. I just really began it last year when I went back to Uganda for the second time and got so much more personally connected with the kids. But what really has sustained me is really being able to know that there's a direct relationship that can be had with these kids, that you really can make a difference. And I think the bottom line for me is that they know somebody cares. And the challenge of communicating with them, phone lines are cheap these days, but the connections can One day I was on the phone 11 times trying to get it clear, and I finally gave up. I said, we can't do this, try another day. Email is a great godsend because there's internet cafes and the kids can have a little money to go there. But in Uganda in particular, it's an English-speaking country if they've been educated. But the kids I deal with have taught themselves to speak English and to write. And so I have to suspend my understanding of the English language in order to interpret an email. Because it's so just the communication is challenging.
I see Ivy nodding.
Well, we often think about very macro, very large ways that we want to make an impact, but I think we have to not miss the opportunity to do something more individually. And I actually mentor a child in South Africa where every week we do a video conference for a half an hour, and it's wonderful. And
Do you use Skype?
We can use Skype, but we have a webcam. He's
Okay.
in an orphanage there, and I've connected with the orphanage, and every Saturday we meet via the computer for a half an hour, and we talk about what is it like for him to live with a mom who's living with HIV. What does it mean for him to go to school or not going to school? What are his future goals? And just having that consistent relationship, 30 minutes. We can all give a child 30 minutes.
He knows someone outside
Absolutely.
cares. Susanna, what local grassroots mechanisms provide models for helping children who are orphaned by HIV, by AIDS at this point? And that's a wonderful, way to be able to reach out that Ivy talked about.
Well, we have been able to locate projects that had already started that didn't have any funding, but we're bringing children together for fun and for solace, and then gradually providing them with funds to send children to school and buy health cards. So the young leaders, and we have a small staff of 2 people plus a volunteer in Kigali, and they are wonderful. And they're all young, and they work very closely together, and I'm in touch with, by email mostly, but also Skype, which is a great addition. Well, 2 or 3 times a week, and I go to Africa twice a year. So the children all see me, and I'm everybody's grandmother, and that's wonderful for me. And I think it's good for them to see that we keep coming back. And I bring a couple of friends with me, and they know there are people who care about them, and that makes a huge
I think
difference.
there are unsung heroes too. There are quilting guilds that make hand quilted blankets that we take to Africa and toys. There is a small group of women in Rhinebeck, New York, who are getting ready to do a fundraiser on June 7th. I don't even know whether people are aware that they have been raising for the last 3 years something like $12,000 to $18,000 to help us to send students to Africa so the students can get hands-on experience in terms of difference and so forth. Because one of the things we don't take into account in terms of these issues is that there are certain populations and certain groups that are being more affected by these problems than others. And so our helping professionals have to get more comfortable with difference, with culture, with religion, so that they can then provide services not only in foreign countries, but they can provide better services here in the United States.